administrative. One of the mandate of the Interfaculty Administrative Officers Committee is to support the CAMP initiative of the UWI strategic plan. That is AG4, to foster a creative, caring, accountable, motivated, professional team. As we continue to be deliberate in our intention of enabling the achievement of the university's strategic goals. As such, we seek to engage with you, our administrators, in sessions such as this, as we aim to assist in supporting your personal and professional growth and development. We continue to partner with the registrar, the registry in general as well, and the union in these initiatives. This year, we are very mindful of your specific needs, and so we asked you in a short survey within the faculties to share with us the areas that you believe might help you as you move along the growth chart. There was strong feedback on the topic of building wealth, and so we are here today to hear from the guest speaker, who will share with us the invaluable strategies and insights that will guide you on your journey towards financial success. So, colleagues, again, on behalf of the administrative officers of the faculties, welcome and get ready to hear greetings from our campus registrar and the MonaMedia president, as well as to gain practical knowledge and actionable tips from our guest speaker to guide you along your journey. And I do hope that you find the session useful. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Dr. Donovan Stanbury, you may go ahead.
Thank you very much, and Madam President, and all the other 65 persons who are signed on to this very important seminar. On behalf of the management, senior management of the UWI Mona, let me warmly greet and congratulate all our administrative professionals, not only for this week, but for your continuing service. I know the value as a manager for the last 20 odd years of an administrative support, whether the administrative assistant or a secretary or whatever nomenclature we might use. I am one of those older bosses, in quotes, who never learned to type for myself or to navigate the electronic space in terms of computer and all of those things. So I have in my lifetime relied very, very heavily on my administrative support. So much so that having left my former place of employ over 5 years ago, I still maintain very, very close friendship and contacts with those who serve me in that capacity. So I want to congratulate you all and thank this group for bringing together the administrative professionals in this association. We have had our challenges as a campus, but even within the confines of the financial struggles that we face, we do still have as one of our core values the objective of creating a caring, accountable, and motivated professional staff. And that lies squarely within my sphere of responsibility as HR sits within the office of the campus registrar. And we intend to live that core value. We intend to promote that objective, the camp objective, as much as possible. And you would have seen things that we have been doing in that regard in the last couple of years or so. Just a few weeks ago, we had our health fair. I don't know why. I don't know. I think we need to do a better job at promoting it, because I don't get the feeling that it was as heavily subscribed as it should have been. But we continue to press. it is within that vein that we reestablished a couple years ago the Staff Matters Committee, so that all of you, most of you will fall within that category, so that your HR affairs can be taken care of in a sort of a professional, unbiased, fair, and transparent way. I'm very happy that Mr. Jeffrey Thompson is on. I think he speaks after me. And he has been a champion for the cause of this group. And we have worked with him. And so we are on a trajectory in terms of ensuring that those of you who have been languishing, acting in posts for a long time, which are vacant, we have been working with Jeffrey within the frame of the Staff Matters Committee to have as many of you appointed and regularized as the case might be. And I think we have made tremendous progress in that regard. I want to engage a little bit more with this group, along with my HR people, Ms. Nalda Thompson, to see how next year, if our lives are spared, we can have a more meaningful celebration of your work and efforts. And you know, money is not is an issue, but I think that if we value people, love always finds a way. And so I'm going to knock it with the principal to ensure that we have a more meaningful celebration next year for our lives are spared, to show you that we really value you and the work that you have done. So continue to do the good work. As we say in church, to fight the good fight of faith. And we value you and we treasure you. And we are here for you. And I want more interaction, not only on this particular day, but as often as you have issues, I stand ready to engage you and to make your sojourn here at the University of the West Indies as comfortable, as meaningful, and as productive as possible. Finally, I want to congratulate you on this important seminar. Wealth management, earning wealth is important. My only regret, Ms. Sharp, is that I won't be able to stay, as I do have a 10:30 and I have to prepare for a big signing, of which my friend Jeffrey is part of it, by 12, because, you know, I too want to know how to earn a little bit more wealth. As it is said, the only thing better than money is more money. So thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Yes, Campus Registrar, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to address us. We are certainly encouraged by the commitment that you have shared, and I will definitely, and the group as well, will take you upon the offer to have a bigger, better celebration next year. Jeffrey, over to you for your greetings.
Yes, thank you. It's good to have the registrar in a hot seat. It makes commitments, right? And so we need to hold him to it. Chair, Administrative Officers Committee, Mrs. Sharon Roberts, Ms. Asenat Sharp, and other members of the Planning Committee, Campus Registrar, Dr. Donovan Stanbury, guest speaker, Mrs. Geraldine Smith Bailey, administrative professionals and guests, colleagues, all, good morning. It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the MONA Administrative and Technical Staff Association to extend warm greetings to all our administrative colleagues as we celebrate your contribution to this noble institution, the University of the West Indies. Let us take credit in the fact that we have played and will continue to play our parts in nurturing the Caribbean personality, thus ensuring that the UWI's vision to be an excellent global university rooted in the Caribbean is achieved, maintained, and ultimately improves the institution's international ranking. MONATS will continue to partnership with the UWI administration in lobbying the government of Jamaica to fully support the compensation review process, ensuring that our salaries will be significant in building and sustaining our personal wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, I join the organizers of today's annual Administrative Professionals Day seminar in applauding our administrative professionals for making change happen and to encourage you to strain forward to what lies ahead and press on towards the goal for the prize. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again, and thank you all and every blessing.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey. We like the encouragement, and I'm sure the members are encouraged by your commitment to continue to lobby for their goals. So at this time, we will move right away into the introduction of our guest speaker by Mrs. Hales Johnson.
Thank you, Athena. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to introduce our guest speaker for today's seminar on building personal wealth, Geraldine Smith Bailey. With an illustrious career spanning over 15 years in finance and banking, Geraldine brings a wealth of expertise and knowledge to the forefront of financial management. Currently serving as the Senior Fund Sales and Service Manager at the JMB Group, Geraldine is responsible for pension management on the North Coast and unit trust investment. In addition to her role at the JMB Group, Geraldine serves as an adjunct lecturer at several esteemed institutions, including our own, the UWI Open Campus, UWI Western Jamaica Campus, UTech Academy, and UCC, where she imparts her wisdom in various courses. Geraldine's academic accomplishments are equally impressive, with an MBA in management from UTech, a BSc in accounting from NCU, and a teaching diploma in business education from Bethlehem Moravian College. She also holds certifications from CPA Foundation, Hart NTA Training and Development, and a certificate in Fundamentals of Professional Sales. Beyond her professional achievements, Geraldine's passion lies in empowering individuals to break the cycle of poverty, achieve financial independence, and create wealth. She dedicates her time to providing training to various companies in finance, money management, wealth creation, budgeting, supervisor management, and entrepreneurship management. And so today, ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged to have Geraldine Smith Bailey grace our seminar with her invaluable insights and strategies for building personal wealth. Please join me, therefore, in extending a warm welcome to Geraldine as we embark on a journey toward financial empowerment and prosperity. Geraldine, over to you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. How are you doing? It is a pleasure. It is a pleasure to impart my knowledge with the UWI group. Thank you so very much for turning out 74 persons online. And it is really, really a blessing. And I hope at the end of my presentation, I would have in part some knowledge that are actionable, ASAP, and some persons will be able to create wealth. And notice I said some persons because wealth creation, really, it's not for everybody. And when I'm finished with this presentation, you'll see why. Because one of the things that it requires is a level of discipline and sacrifice that a lot of individuals are not willing to do, right? So before we begin, one of the things persons might be asking, so what makes you an expert in giving persons financial advice as to how to manage their money, how to create wealth for themselves, how to budget, how to, develop a passive income? And let me tell you, I would have practiced everything that I'm telling you. I would have hit rock bottom twice. And hitting rock bottom does not mean that it's not because I didn't have a job. It was because I was not making money. It was because I was not equipped with the knowledge as to how to manage my money. And because of that, I make mistakes. I took risks that were not calculated. And because of that, I faced the consequences and had to, start over or either have to push a little harder. So my aim is to try to help persons not to make the same mistake, because I grew up in an era where people don't give financial advice, and it's one of the things that are happening even today. We have all of these institutions. One of the things that we still do not teach persons is how do we manage our personal finances? How do we do it? So we learn how to manage it for companies. We learn how to make companies make billions of dollars. But how do we do it for ourselves? And this is what this little 1 hour is going to do. I am a great talker, so I'm going to try to stay within my 1 hour because I know it is time. But before I move into my presentation, I want this to be a very, very interactive session. So I know I have 2 persons who are monitoring the chat. And then there are persons who, like myself, will not put anything in the chat because we rather, open our mics and speak. So if you have, a question, if you want to say something, just indicate by raising your hand. I think there's an icon that you can press and your mic will be open and you can basically, ask your question and say, I don't really want you to wait until the end of my presentation to ask. I will entertain you because I want this session to be very, very engaging, because when we talk about wealth management, it's not just me standing here and just talking, but it's a collective effort. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you think of what I say. I want to know if you have tried it and it has not worked. And along the way, I'm going to ask you questions and I want you to engage. So my first question is, what is your concept of wealth management or wealth creation? Because I know everybody have a different concept. For you, I want you to tell me, what is your concept? At least 3 or 4 persons. Don't let it in the chat, or you want to open your mic and say. Yes. Anybody? Come on, ladies and gentlemen.
Someone typed in the chat how to create funds.
How to create funds. That's their concept.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else? Don't be shy. Remember, this is a learning process, and you can only learn by expressing what you think the answer might be, so we can adjust it as we go along. Anybody else? Somebody else?
The chat is active. Budgeting and saving, the ability to control how you spend.
All right.
How to save some of what you earn. And the investments.
But what I'm getting, is what people think is wealth creation, but not what they think is their concept of wealth creation. Because one of the things I want you to understand is that my concept of wealth might be different from somebody else's concept of wealth. So somebody's concept of wealth might be that I have $1 million in a bank account. For others, it might be that level of financial security. And then for others, it's just having a whole heap of assets. So you might look at somebody else and say, oh, that person is wealthy, but you don't look at yourself and think you're wealthy. And sometimes when you look at it, you're actually in a better financial stance than the person that you're looking at on the other side of the road, right? So let's first look at money management. Right. So money management, because this is the first aspect of wealth creation, and this is where most of us fall short. So money management is the process of budgeting, which we're going to look at, saving and investment, which we're going to talk a little about, and spending money wisely to achieve our financial goals, right? It also looks at us making informed decisions about the resources that we have so that we can maximize our financial stability and at the same time minimizing risk. Because risk is one of the things that we don't look at that sometimes will deplete the level of wealth that we are trying to create. So when we talk about money management, you have to include in your vocabulary a diversified portfolio. And a diversified portfolio does not mean that you have millions of dollars, because I remember when I used to hear people say, boy, I may have a diverse portfolio. I may say, boy, I don't have money, man. But as I grow and I move into the financial area and I start to educate myself, I realize that a diverse portfolio does not mean I have a whole heap of money. It just simply means that I have set myself to minimize my risk. So I have my savings, I have my emergency fund, I have my insurance. So just in case sickness comes along, there is money in the kitty to help with that. I also have my death benefit. So when somebody passed on, because they have to dead, mother, father, husband, sometimes children before you, how do I ensure that when I cry, I'm not crying because I know incurred additional debt, but I'm really crying because I'm going to miss the person. So I bet a lot of you never even realize that sometimes when you see people at funeral or holler, you know, it's not about what the person dead, it's about the loan what this person now died prematurely that they now have to go pay back for. Right? So we're going to talk a little about that, right? And look at how do we now manage our money to ensure that we create wealth. So, in looking at money management, we have to look at three things. We have to look at wealth creation, we have to look at budgeting, and we have to look at our passive income. Now, if we can get these correct, we can basically maximize our wealth. Right? Now we talk about money management, basically you're tracking, you're balancing, and you're totaling your income against your expenses, right? You also curbing your spending habits, right? Because again, that's where we fall short. So wealth creation refers to building wealth through a variety of methods using financial products. So it's not just your 9 to 5 that is going to allow you to create wealth. It's not about the stocks that you buy that alone are going to help you to create wealth. It's a variety of items, a number of things that we're going to have to do to ensure that we have some money. But we also now have to figure out how to budget. What is budgeting? How many persons have an active budgeting system and stick to it? Let me see the hand. Can I see that? Oh, I got the hand up here. Yes, just indicate by raising your hand. Honestly, how many persons have an active budgeting system? Yes, as the card hand goes up and you're sticking to it. 2 persons. 3 out of 80? I'm glad you're honest though. Because listen, guys, this is where the problem is. Right here, so. And budgeting is very, very simple. It's an ABC, right? You do an audit, you do a budget, and you be consistent. A budget is simple. You having a plan, and that plan is your roadmap to success of you analyzing or comparing your expenses versus your income. And you look at that over a period of time. Yes, Bridget? See, Bridget hand is up. Oh, you're just indicating? Okay, all right. Now, if you have $1,000 and your income and your expense is 1,100, you're in problem. You're in serious, serious problem. And most of us are in trouble. Most of us live from paycheck to paycheck. Some of us live by credit cards. And the banks are very smart, especially NCB. I'm afraid of NCB. Why? NCB watch your income for you. They watch the money that you have coming in. And so your money coming in, and so your credit card limit go up. To the point that NCB give overdraft on credit card. Most persons don't know that. But there are persons who they don't put the limit there, so you have a limit, let's say, of 500,000, and then they give you an extra 80,000 over that 500,000. So you wonder why your credit card maxed out, but you swipe it or you use it online and it still go through. It's because NCB realized that you're a very, very good creditor. You pay your credit card bill on time and you ever have money and come in. And then on top of that, what they do, you go in your notification and we see pre-approved loans. Just a click away. And they prompt you with the email. Just a click away. Want money? Just a click away. And some persons sometimes get 3, 4, depending on how much money you have passing through their system and how much money you have, you sometimes have 3 loans sitting there waiting on you, right? From the payday loan to those personal loans that you take, I think, up to 3 or 4 years to repay. And you forget about your budget and you click. And that now puts you in trouble. Because you have overextended yourself and you do not have a passive income. So what is my passive income? The passive income is any money that you earn that does not require additional effort. It's any money that is earning while you're sleeping. So you have a 9 to 5. Do you have any other income coming in? When you set your budget, your 9 to 5 cannot balance your budget. What are you doing to get that additional income? Are you depending on NCB credit card and their pre-approved loan? Because trust me, there are some persons who take the personal loan every single month just to balance their budget. And that's a cycle that we have to break. Can we break it? Yes, we can. Is it going to be easy? No, because wealth creation is not easy. But if you're determined to succeed, if you're determined to be comfortable, if you're determined to pass on certain level of wealth to the next generation, to your children, then you have to be willing to make that sacrifice. So, when we talk about savings, what are we talking about? Right? Saving is important because 1, it's essential for building your emergency fund. Question again, how many persons have an emergency fund? Let me see the hands. Yes, Bridget. Anybody else? Emergency fund. So you have your health card and your child sick or you're sick, and it is the middle of the month, or what we call vengeance week. How many persons have an emergency fund that they can pull from and use their health card to go to the doctor? 2. Anybody else? 3. And one person here says sometimes. 4. 79 of us. 4, emergency funds are important because the emergency fund stops you from taking those loans from the loan shark, those easy loans where you just go in and either use your furniture or because you already have good standard with them, they just give you the money with a very high interest rate. Have to have an emergency fund. And the emergency fund is different from, you putting in just a regular savings or whatever. It's there for emergency. You drive and you bust a tire, engine blow, something happened. What do you now do? Do you have that money for it? So that's one thing you need to make a note that you now need to establish for yourself. Savings allow you to achieve your financial goals. And many of you have goals. Some of us put it on the back burner, but you need to write down what your goals are. Because let me tell you something. If you don't have a goal, it's going to be very hard to create wealth. I can guarantee you. Because to create wealth, you have to be working towards something. Most of us do not save. We don't put anything aside because we don't have any goals, right? Because we think that some things are out of our reach, so we say, oh, we now work towards it. So you must have something that you're going to work towards. It also helps you to secure financial stability, right? So when we talk about putting money aside, income aside, we're talking about long-term savings. We're talking about short-term savings. We're talking about your retirement goals. Because your children are not your retirement income. Let me repeat that. Your children or child is not your retirement income. So it doesn't matter if you send a child go to China at school. When they come back, they have their life. They're going to have to, they want to marry, they want to have children. And yes, they are going to help you along the way, but you are not going to be their sole responsibility. So you must have a retirement fund or a retirement plan that will enable you to sustain yourself comfortable when you reach that age when you can no longer work. And a lot of times when people talk about retirement, they think that you have to take 65. But bear in mind, you can go on disability retirement. You travel every day, you come into work, and you can reach the age of 40 and a doctor say, hey, listen, because of lifestyle, illness, or whatever the situation might be, you can no longer function in a regular 9 to 5. You don't lose a limb, you're not in a wheelchair, but probably because of severe diabetes, could be arthritis, it could be other issues. I've seen persons have to go on early disability retirement because of sinus issues. They cannot function because they can't take the smell of nothing within their environment. So they have to stay home. Where are you with that? How are you okay with that? Right? What about owning a home? Do you want to own a home? Do you own a home? If you own a home, at what age do you think you want to close your mortgage? How many persons think about what time or when do they want to stop working? Because again, that is important. Do I want to stay until I'm 65 or do I want to go at an earlier age, or do I have to stay until I'm 70? If we are not saving, if we are not putting our plans into action, then we're going to find out that we reach 65 and we're still not ready to go home. Then let's talk about risk management. So risk management is managing your financial risk. So you're protecting yourself against any unforeseeable event. We need home insurance. So you cannot have a $30–40 million home that is not protected. And that is why when you take a mortgage, whether from NHG or the bank, there is a peril insurance on it. But what a lot of persons also don't understand, the peril insurance is not for you, it's for them. It's really to protect them in the event that something happens to the home, that their loan is secure. So as the mortgage go down, so does the insurance. How protected are you? How protected are you at disability if something should happen, right? Family indemnity plan. How many persons have a family indemnity plan? Let me see the hands again. FIP, most persons call it FIP. Cohen, Camille, Nadine. 3. Have you ever heard for the others? Have you ever heard of a family indemnity plan before? So here's your first assignment when you're finished. Most persons would have been a part of a credit union. You are going to go to the credit union and find out about the family indemnity plan. This is a plan that everybody needs to have, especially if you have elderly parents. Now, that plan can cover up to 6 individuals at a minimal amount. So I think they have about 8 to 10 different plans. You can protect your parents or step-parents, your spouse, your children. I think your children stay up to about 25 or 26, somewhere along that line. Don't quote me on the kids figure, but it's up to 20 something. And if your parents are not alive, you can put your in-laws. And it's one money that protects everybody. Guys, listen. It is one of the best investments to put in your portfolio. Because if 2 persons pass on, then those 2 persons are covered and the plan still continues. You wanted to say something, Mrs. Johnson? Or you were just indicating, yes?
Geraldine, someone is
Sophia,
asking, what about life insurance? I mean, if they have life insurance, do they still need the family indemnity plan?
Yes, because the life insurance only covers them or the person that they put in. And most life insurance, you have to bury the individual first before you get the money. So you have to produce the death certificate. With the FIP, it covers up to 6 family members. So your entire family is covered. It is paid within 5 working days after you submit the claim. So you just get the form from the credit union, you take it to the doctor signs off that yes, this person has passed on, take it back to the insurance, the credit union, and within 5 working days, that money is in your account. So you actually have money to bury that individual, and the plan continues. So 1 person drop off, you still have 5 on it. And if you have another child, that child can now go on and meet the 6th person. So the plan continues even when you get the benefit. With a life insurance, once you produce the death certificate, that's it. The plan is over, right? So you have the life insurance, and the life insurance is especially good if you have, especially if you have children and you want to make sure if you pass on prematurely or you have parents who are depending on you, you want to ensure that just in case you pass on prematurely, then they have something to get. But the family indemnity plan is specifically designed to bury your loved ones. And that is what you need. You don't want when the person dies, you have to run up and down. And I think the plan starts as low as 400 and something thousand to $2.5 million. So you can choose the level of affordability and cover everybody. So yes, you actually need it if you have that extended family to cover. All right? But there are a lot of risks that are there that you have to ensure that you know what those risks that you are exposed to and make sure that you put measures in place. So that again forms a part of your portfolio. So let's look at some financial terms that you need to know. Because you're going to create wealth, you need to know these things. Investing, right? So investing investing is really just putting away money in other assets outside of a regular bank account that is going to give you a higher return than what you get at the bank, right? Some investment tools include the stock market, buying bonds. Some companies have managed portfolio versus the unmanaged portfolio. The managed portfolio, like the mutual funds, the unit trust, and stuff like that, that all you do is put the money in, and they have investment managers who manage it for you. The unmanaged portfolio is like the APOs, the IPOs that you call stocks that you buy into the different company, the bonds on the open market, and that can be both US and Jamaican currency that you manage yourself. So you determine when you buy, when you sell those stocks. One of the most important things before you start investing is that you must understand, one, your risk tolerance and the risk that is associated with the investment instrument that you are going to buy. When you're also investing, you have to look at your investment goal. So if your goal is for 12 months, the majority, probably 95% of the investment tools that are there are not designed for you because they are more medium to long term, right? Again, it's critical that you diversify your portfolio. So you want to invest and you come up, a lot of times I hear people come and they say, oh, me aggressive. Okay, you can't take risk, man. Okay. Do you own a home? No. Do you have savings in the bank? No. What is your liability? Why before the bank some money and whatever, then stock is not for you. And it might sound straight, but it's not. Because when you buy stock, you have to put in your mind that you can lose that fund. It's one of the most aggressive investment instruments on the market. It also yields the highest return, but it carries the greater risk. So for example, if most of you would have bought stock and you're following the stock market, you would have seen the plunge in it. Perfect example, I'm not kill NCB, but the example always comes to my mind. NCB stock in 2019 was about $250 or $60 something for one. You couldn't even get NCB stock to buy because nobody now buy it. On top of that, NCB paid dividend. And the dividend is an additional bonus. And I always tell people, I love stocks that pay dividends. I don't do stocks that don't pay dividends because I don't want to just sit and wait for the price of my stock to go up and determine if I should sell it. I want to know at the end of the year, this company made so much money and they can sell my little 2 pence in the form of dividend while I hold my stock. And NCB was one of those companies that everybody wanted a piece of. And we have watched NCB drop to about $60 something. It's still not reached back $100 yet. It will get there because it's a very good company. But it's a good time to buy NCB stock because it is low. But savvy investors are still not selling their NCB stock because they know what they have in there. Persons who do not have a diverse portfolio and now need some money have no choice than to sell the stock below what they used to value or what they probably would have purchased it for because they need some funds. So before you jump to invest again, sit and have a conversation with a financial advisor. And it doesn't matter where. It's nice to come to JMB because we do have some experts over there. But there are other houses that you can go. Some people will go to Barita, some people will go to Sagicor. I don't care where you go. What I want you to do is have a conversation. So if you're talking to a financial advisor and he or she say that I only have 10-15 minutes to spare, then that's the wrong advisor you have. Because you want an advisor that is going to answer every single question that you have about that investment or investing in any particular product. And it is okay to write down your questions before you go. So you have a list of things that you want to have answered, including the fact that if I pass on, what happened to that investment? Because again, that's something we're not taking into consideration, and we don't understand what our family has to go through when we don't have a will. And we're going to talk a little about estate planning. We don't have a will, or we have not done any estate planning, and know all of this money is there, and you were the only person who could have accessed that fund. Then debt management. How well do we manage our debt? So let me tell you something. If you don't pay your minimum payment, that's not debt management, guys. That's not debt management, because you work out the minimum payment on your credit card. So the funniest thing, if you have 100,000 limit and your credit card minimum payment is, let's say, $5,000 or $10,000, and you pay off that, you pay that $5,000 every month. At the end of the year, you still probably owe NCB about $95,000 or any other financial institution. So minimum payment is not really managing your debt. So you have to be careful. Not because you don't pay the loans on a monthly basis does not mean that you're okay, because sometimes you're struggling with them. So the aim is to try to get rid of your debt, especially the ones that have very, very high interest rates, like your credit card. Sometimes you might have to look and decide that you might need to consolidate your debt. And again, that's a conversation that you need to have with your financial advisor, not necessarily your loan officer, because your loan officer might not want you to close the loan, because that's how the banks make money, and I'm being very frank. But your financial advisor can basically advise you if do you need to take a debt consolidation to close this loan, or do you need to make it run its course? Because it might be. So if I'm advising you, and when I look at the debts that you have, and I realize that if you're disciplined, you can close all your debts within 2.5, 3 years. I might not necessarily tell you to take a debt consolidation unless you're struggling to pay them. Because when you take a debt consolidation, you just add probably 2 or 3 more years onto that loan, right? But for some persons, it is really important that they take a debt consolidation, because when I look at their income versus their expenses, they have to be borrowing just to pay their debt. So they might be borrowing from family member, they might sometimes be taking that payday loan, because when you take it, you might pay it back the next month, and then you get it back, and because you get it. So let's say, for example, you only needed that extra $20,000, but you can't pay your bills then, so you might take the 100,000, and every month you pay back the 100,000, and as you pay it, you go back over your email and click on the thing and accept it again, so you have 100,000 more. That's not managing your debt. So again, you might end up having to have a conversation. Managing your debt might simply mean that you can also go in and negotiate your interest rate, right? Sometimes it might be renegotiated in terms of trying to close out that particular debt, or you're trying not to get a debt consolidation or something, and you're trying to see if you can get a better rate. So there's a lot of things that will, encompass, your debt management. So again, having a good financial advisor that you can sit and talk to and be open about and can guide you the right way is important in creating wealth. You see all the things so when we got you, we don't reach out how you go make money yet, because you have to understand all of this, and you have to manage this aspect, the debt. Then the retirement plan. The retirement planning is essential, because when you reach that age when you can no longer work, and that can be voluntary or involuntary. Voluntary in the sense that you reach 60, 65 and you retire, or you take early retirement. Involuntary mean that because of illness, you have to exit 95 early. How prepared are you? Right? are you a part of a ARS? So the ARS, right, approved retirement scheme, is where your company do not provide you with a pension plan, or the company have a pension plan, but you are on a contractual basis. So you are not entitled to be a part on it. No biggie, you open your own. Open your own. There are many institutions that provide you with a retirement plan. Open one. You can do a minimum of 1% to a maximum of 20% of your income. Yes, there are some of the fund managers that might have a specific amount that you have to do monthly or per year, but that is okay. What you want is to ensure that when you are ready to retire, you have some money. Because get your pension, because the pension is at the back end, and the pension is like your salary, what you're getting now. Every single month, it goes into your account along with the little NIS that you're getting. And that hopefully should be sufficient enough to pay your light, buy your food, buy your medication. So again, you need to look back on it. And then for others, the company might have a pension plan. Some is a corporate, some is a superannuation plan that you're there. But again, is that sufficient to take care of you? Because now you might have to get supplementary pension, because what is the lifestyle? Again, it's a common question if I should ask one or two persons to tell me, what is your plans for retirement? What would be the answer? I would love to hear from about two persons. What you plan to do when you retire? I hope that they'll be sharp, their mic can open, or they just have to WhatsApp in, text in.
They can unmute.
They can unmute. Come on, guys, talk to me. I want to hear, what is your plan? I want two persons to tell me, what is your plan for retirement? Somebody asked, what is it? You can double your pension to, no, so the maximum for your pension is 20% of your gross income. But you can actually open, some of the financial houses have what they call a supplementary pension. Most of the time it's a managed, it's specific unit trust that they have that you can do in addition to your pension to ensure that you have sufficient funds out there. But can anybody at all tell me, what is your plan for retirement? Bridget says she have Airbnb. That's good. Start an Airbnb. Yes, that if you can manage that well, yes, that's a very good source of income. Because on the flip side, if the Airbnb don't work, long-term rental, can't go wrong. All right, so it is Camicia said that I aspire to travel more. How much is that going to cost? Have you worked that out? Aspiration. It's an aspiration, but you must have a figure. Yes? Camicia, she don't want to unmute her mic. What's the figure you're looking at? Talk to me. What's the figure you're looking at to travel? Based on your age now and when you plan to retire, how much money are you looking at to travel? Hey, Bridget have a whole heap of business idea. Bridget, when people always want food, something around here. I don't think I need to put the money in there. But guys, I understand it. I don't know why this group is so shy. And these are administrative professionals. You guys talk a lot, so why you don't want to talk to me? But it's nice to want to travel, but it takes a lot of money, because if you think about just traveling now, how much it's going to cost. And let me tell you something, when it's the first NIS money can barely buy medication. That's the first thing, right? And even with a pension plan, I have seen persons retire. The highest client I've had that retire was about 100, I think he had about 110 million. 110 million. And he was barely getting over 500,000 per month. I want you to understand that, because remember, pension is payable until life. And yes, after, so when I work it out, because I'm one of those persons who work out everything, you know, because when I'm having a conversation with my clients, I want to know I'm well informed. So after 15 years, when you work it out, you basically get back your money. So after that, a bonus. So the actuaries work out that the lifespan for any individual when they retire is at least 15 years. No, Bridget, Bridget, remember, they go get old when you it doesn't feel like Bridget planned to retire. Like, Bridget feel like when she gets 60, she was strong. There is so Bridget, we're going to come to the passive income, but you don't need to wait until you retire, right? But guys, you have to be very, very realistic about what you want so that you can start putting your funds aside. You're probably going to need to talk to Bridget, because Bridget have whole leave ideas over here, right? So, oh, because the chat is on his account. All right. Tax planning, also important. How do I minimize the amount of taxes that are paid? So again, when you're investing, talk to your financial advisor about the tax aspect of your investment. So you have some investment that are tax sheltered, and then you have some that once you don't touch it for the next 5 years, the returns that are on it is actually tax-free. So you need to take advantage of that. Again, with your pension, once you are paying pension, maximize 20%. If you pay income tax, it actually minimizes the amount of income tax that you pay. So for some persons, they don't pay any income tax after they do their maximum amount of pension. And then for others, it minimizes the amount. Then if you want to start a business, again, you have to do your investigation. It's actually better to start a company. It might be a little harder to start because of the legal framework. But again, there are better tax benefits if you start a company than when you have like a sole trader or a partnership. So again, you want to do some business, you have to think about it. And of course, a company, when you look at the risk aspect of it, remember, because it's a company, it minimizes the risk in terms of your personal assets. So if the company goes bankrupt, it's just what the company have. You can't lose your personal assets, unlike the partnership and the sole trader. So again, do your research, because guys, opportunities are out there for us to create wealth. It's just that we're not taking the time out to get this information and to plan properly. But most of the time, people have business and have the money and they don't go start one business. They just want to start one business. They have no passion about the business. They never check to make sure it is something that is in demand, all of those things. So it's important that we make sure that we do that to limit our liability, right? Hey, you can see, sorry, Bridget had our research, you know. Bridget had our research. Estate planning. How many persons have a will? Let me see the hands. How many persons have a will? How many persons have started their estate planning? Yeah. Oh, Bridget, and again, go. I love Bridget. Bridget never needs this session at all. Right? But I love Bridget, how Bridget talk to me. Only one person? Nobody else? Guys, you need a will. Guys, you need a will. And most persons might tell me, oh, attorneys are expensive. Not really. Not for the will. However, if you walk into any bookshop, including Santana, they have a will form that is about $250. It's under $500. you can complete it, have it stamped and signed by a JP to ensure that upon your death, your assets are fairly distributed to the persons who you want it, and they don't have to go through most farmers, well informed, any pharmacy will have it, right? Because you don't want it to go to the administrative general and take a while for that to happen, right? So it's never too young to write your will, and you can always upgrade your will. As you get more assets, have more children, not like the children where you have, not like the spouse, the brother, the sister. Yeah, man, we can't change them, right? The will form cheap. But again, second thing on your list, estate planning. So you can either get advice from, again, we don't have a lot of individuals though that are trained in estate planning, but most attorneys can assist you with that, or get a will form. Because I have a will form. I don't go to an attorney. Listen, me know who forget whatever. So I purchased mine and I've completed, I get it stamped and signed by a JP. And I put it in a safe look area. Well, I really my husband know which part of them open and kill me, but I told him where it is. So I said, just in case anything happen, there is the will that can be sorted out. But estate planning is important. So, effective money management requires discipline, financial literacy, and an ongoing monitoring and adjustment to adapt to the changing circumstances and goals. Now, seeking professional advice from financial advisors or planning can provide valuable guidance tailored to individual financial situations and objectives, because everyone here have a different, and sometimes you have to get help, and it's okay to talk to the persons who are trained in that area to provide you with advice. Again, I always tell people, because I don't like to spend money like that. If you go on YouTube, you'll be amazed at the information you can get. No, not all information are good. Because before you can give me certain advice or financial advice, you have to tell me how it has helped you. So you can't come to me with your broke self and struggle to survive and not tell me how to make money. And that is why I make it very clear as to why I can stand here today and tell you why. Am I rich? To an extent, I'm okay based on my goals. To some people, they might say, no, man, you need more money. My financial goals are 95% there. There were two main things that I wanted. I wanted to know that at the age of 50, if I choose to leave 9 to 5, or if I'm doing 9 to 5, it was not because I have to, but because I want to become no one go and go straight up and die. So I'm 49, and yes, I can go home at 50. I can accomplish that dream. The second aspect of it was that I remember when I was with, not the last financial institution, but the one before that, and they were going through a redundancy exercise. And I've just purchased my first car and my home. And I sit down there and I say, yeah, top performer, but that don't mean nothing. And I say, God, do not make me name the family list. Because no, based on how much me pay, me try to work out, can't go back in a teaching because I was dead too hungry. And even though I was not redundant, that fear that was in me, I said, I can't keep doing this. Because I was, I think in my early 30s, I said, I can't keep doing this. God, no, I can't keep doing this. So I wanted that level of stability to know that if a company decides to do redundancy, I start pack up from the room and start and say, okay, I can go home. I don't have to look. And I have accomplished that goal. And I'm very, very grateful. It was not an easy journey. Was not an easy journey. But I'm not living from paycheck to paycheck like before. I'm not worried. I love my job, but I'm not worried about it. If JMB said go home tomorrow morning, I'm good. I'm okay. Me not worry. A matter of fact, it would be a joy to my husband because I said to him the other, since we come matter of fact, say, hey, suppose I have redundancy, maybe take if you can, you come home. And it took a lot for me to reach there. So it is possible for persons to accomplish that. But again, you have to set out your goals and you have to work towards it. Because you see that financial freedom, even if you're in 9 to 5 and you have it, you function better. Because I function better. I really, really function better. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, and I thought that I was very plain before, but now I can have some conversation that before I was a little bit skeptical because I said next my boss up in our feelings and decide, but I really don't care. Not that I don't care about the job, but if things are not going how it's supposed to go, or you're giving me a task that it's really not possible, I can have that conversation because I'm not timid about what I'm afraid they send me on my yard and all of those things because I have set myself a particular way. Yes, I have liability, but my liability, my overall liabilities is less than $5 million, right? Which, when I look at it, if I choose to close it within a particular time frame, it can be done. If I go home, it is a 1, 2, 3 to close. But you still need little liability. You can't do not all the little money, you still have to enjoy some of the perks out there. And that is what I want you guys to get. That is the level I want you to reach, where you're at work and you're not worried how the car insurance is going to pay, or how you're going to buy food, or you're going to the supermarket and you want to treat yourself, or you just want to treat your family. You can do that. If you have not created that level of stability, this is not the time to do it. And we're going to go down to some habits. We're going to kill us if we don't fix them before time. So, what are some of the benefits of effective money management? And these are some of them. You can manage your money. It will ensure that you don't spend that money that you don't have. It ensures that you're happy at retirement. It helps you to prepare for emergency. It helps you to address bad spending habits, stop overspending. It helps you to stop worrying about money, because most of us who are stressed out, are because of money. And we blame the organization where we work, them this and that, but the root of the problem is because we are broke, right? It allows you to be flexible. It helps you to sleep better at night, and most importantly, helps you to achieve your goals, right? If you can manage your money, guys, these are the 9 greatest benefits that you're going to have, right? So how do I create wealth? Have to have a plan. I keep saying that from before. You have to have a plan, because if he who plans, he who fails to plan, plan to fail. And it's not a joke. Right? Bridget, one go fast. Right? So have a plan. Have to make a budget and stick to it. And it's hard. I tell us that making the budget is hard, but it can be done. Build the emergency fund, automate your financial life, manage your debt, max out your retirement savings, right? Make sure you have your 20%. Stay diversified, and create additional income or your passive income. So you see me run through this because some of them we're going to talk a little bit more on it. What am I saying now? Oh. So the 4 main foundations for you to create wealth, right? Is the first thing is that you need to diversify your portfolio. So we talk about some of the things in there. We talk about your insurance policy. Those are the risk management aspect of it, where in the event of unforeseen circumstances, you are covered. We talk about our investment. We talk about our savings or emergency fund. All of those are covered in your diversified portfolio, right? We're going to look a little on the passive income. 9 to 5 will not make you rich. Don't make nobody fool you. Because if you earn more than $6 million a year, your income tax is not 25%. It's actually 30%. More money you make, government gets. So you now have to understand it can't be just 9 to 5, because if you don't give a raise of pay, you don't get more money. So how do you ensure that you have that additional income to supplement your goals, to supplement your investment, to supplement your emergency fund? Right? So go look at it. Avoid unnecessary debt. Stop swiping credit card for fast food. Stop swiping your credit card for KFC and the Burger King and to go buy Japan House ice cream. You notice the things that have no relevance to us always accept card? Stop. Unnecessary debt, stop. You don't have to go foreign every year. Don't. Right? You don't need more than one budget standards if you need none at all. I mean, I have none. Come me. Now pay 18 or 20 grand to one slippers. So I walk on the ground, not happening. And I'm not bashing the people business, that's just my preference. A slippers is a slippers, because if you're not telling me to have on a budget, because you see how me think that's the advice I give. First of all, if you don't tell me I'm on a budget, me don't know. Because it is a slippers, and I might say, oh, this slippers is cute. Then you're going to say, oh, it's a budget. Yeah, but I get $18,000. And the ground I get it. So if you think about the unnecessary debt, why are you buying it? Because everybody they have it, right? And we're looking at the compound. See, Bridget, me and Bridget can go on a Bridget. And we're looking at the compound interest. So pay keen attention. These are some of the bad habits that are making us poor. We're going to talk about them. But in a nutshell, you borrow money to lead a luxurious life. Who you impressed? Tell me. Social media. Your co-worker wanna even see you. Don't make any sense. You're saving what is left after you spend. Big mistake. I buy some of the budget way over. So you don't even have dollar to put in your account. You spend more than what you make. You delay your financial decision and you're not managing your credit score. Guys, this is big. You wonder when you go to the bank and sometimes you get some high interest rate. Interest rate is also based on your credit score. And they rank you from 1 to 5. The ideal credit score is anywhere between 600 to 750. That will get you a very, very low interest rate that allow you to negotiate your interest rate. If you don't have any debt, this is the next thing. If you have never borrowed and don't have a credit card or anything, and you now go to borrow a loan, you're in a problem. That's how the system is set up, because they have nothing to rate you on. So if you have never borrowed, never do anything, and you are very frugal and you know how to manage your thing, yes, you can get a credit card for emergency. And there are ways in which you can have a credit card, spend it and don't pay $1 for interest. You have 21 days to pay for what you have used. If you make sure that you spend $1 and you pay that $1 within that 20, the bank will never get $1 from you. And I've known persons who have credit card for years and never paid $1 in interest. To the point that a lot of people don't know this, that the bank will actually lower the interest rate on your credit card when they are not getting any money, because they want to get some money from you. So when you're spending and paying it on time, one of the benefits that they give you, yes, them up the limit, but what they also do, what they can also do is minimize that interest rate, because they're trying to get you to overspend so they can get some return, right? So the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. So all of you wanted to create a level of wealth, let's go. First thing, you must save at least 10% of your income, and that can be whether in your retirement plan. It can be investment, it can be savings. How many persons are at number one? This is how you pay yourself. Because before, I was fool. People used to say, you gotta pay yourself first. Go buy food. And most persons, even today, when you ask them, what do you mean by pay yourself? Go buy food, go get a massage, go get a drink. But guys, no. Pay yourself means that you're investing in yourself. So whether it is that you have your pension plan and you're doing 10%, you have your investment, but the first thing you must do is save at least 10%. How many persons are consistent with this? All right, I have one here. My 84 audience, how many persons? Yes, Carla, and it is possible. Go and share how we can do that. How many persons? 3? All right. So that's one of the habits why we are not making it, because we are not saving 10%. So we have to start from there. We already talked about income. Income and expenses. You have to look at them. You have to look at them. Your income versus your expenses. And you have to be very, very realistic, guys, about it. It's really a tough decision, but every dollar that you spend, you need to put it down. Every dollar that you earn, if your baby father gave you some money or a sister send you one little $100 you have to put it down as income. Once it is consistent, and work it out, because that is how now you're going to see, can I increase the 10% that I'm putting aside? Can I use the additional to clear up the debts that I have? Because again, we have to manage those debts. Here's the next one. Some of us are comfortable with bad debts. Let me go again. Some of us are comfortable with bad debts. If you want to know if you're comfortable with it, if every time something happens, you run go borrow a loan, you're one of them. So, do we have good debt? Yes, we do. So let's differentiate the two of them. Good debt is when you are purchasing or borrowing to generate additional income. So if you decide that, I want to start a little business, I don't have the capital, so I'm going to borrow some money to buy some stock, or you decide that you want to bake and you get your little orders and stuff like that, and you want an industrial oven so that you can start baking to fulfill those orders. So you might borrow a loan, and notice me not say hire purchase for the love of God. Guys, stop taking hire purchase. Stop it. Go put on the money. That's why you have emergency fund. Because you're paying sometimes 2.5 times the price of the item. For an item, if you discipline yourself, you could have purchased it in at least 6 months' time. And most of the time, it was not an emergency. Put your emergency fund aside that you can basically factor those in. If you're buying a house, that a house is an asset and it can be a liability if you're not careful. Because you buy this big mansion, for you one living up, everybody knows that, oh, me live up already, it's our job sale. And you have struggled to pay the mortgage. And you say to yourself, say, you know what? Let me rent out a space or 2, or let me take in 2 little borders or whatever it is to help generate that income. Again, even buying a house, you have to be careful. The bad debt is when you buy a brand new car, Honda CR-V. At today's rate, you're paying 100 and something thousand a month. You go park up on you in hot campus in other while it's done, just because you want everybody to know say you're the driver CR-V. That's a bad debt. That CR-V is not generating no income for you. You're not get traveling, you're not get upkeep. And then they can barely go to supermarket at the end of the month because by the time the bank take for them little money, you're trying to figure out how you go survive. That's a bad debt. Once that debt creates a liability, you cannot generate any income from it, guys, it is a bad debt. So know the difference. Stop being comfortable with it, right? You need to get rid of the debts them that you have so that your mind space can free up, so that you can take on other things that will generate income from you. When you see me touching a drive on a hard vehicle, you know, remember me tell us it, and I hire purchase, it's cash. So I said to somebody the other day, they kill off the Chinese, we oppose the Chinese. There's a lot to learn from the Chinese. We do the opposite of the Chinese. Mr. Chin come, and he might come and start working another Chinese, and eventually the Chinese help him set up one little business. Might not be big, but they set up a little business and they rent a house, and all 12 of them each up in a house. And then buy one panel bus, and the panel bus both transport everybody and they carry the goods. Mr. Chin open 7 days per week. If it even means I lock the grill and I serve you through the grill. Mr. Chin educate their children based on the business sector that they're in, and for their children to make money. We educate our children as a status. The child tells us that they want to be a mechanic. We can't see outside of a mechanic, just being dirty or whatever. So you must be a doctor. Do you know how hard a doctor to work for their money? I can tell you. Hard, very, very hard, right? Then Mr. Chin expanding business, and Mr. Chin buy a plaza or build a plaza. Then Mr. Chin buy a house. Then Mr. Chin buy the luxury vehicle. What do? We get our education based on status and not necessarily based on skill set. Then when we get the job, we go buy a high-end vehicle because we believe that the vehicle must match what we are doing. Then we are trying to get a house. And sometimes the loan officer will tell us, you have to hand me back the credit card, and you might have to sell the vehicle and get it because your debt service ratio is too high for the property, or you just can't get it. And then when we're fully stressed out and have no income, here we know, we want to set up our business. Where you going to get the money from? Because we were not planning, we were not managing our money, we were not managing our debt. So we end up start our life in debt and end it in debt. And not understanding that we can actually do better than that. We can actually have wealth, we can actually create wealth, we can, and then we don't even put repeating in our business. We have one little business and we feel like our children are better than coming in the business. Mr. Chin Pitney always in there. And then we wonder why the Chinese then come to Jamaica dirt poor. And in a few years, these persons are millionaires. Right now, it's a group of them that is basically rebuilding Montego Bay. A group of Chinese that they are not related. They are just businessmen who are part of the Chinese community and decide to pool their wealth together to create a greater level of wealth. So again, in creating wealth, one of the things that we need to do is that we need to change our mindset about money. We think that as we see money, we spend. Can't be. You have to think that when I have money, I need to use it to create more money so that my child or my children doesn't come up and suffer like myself. Right? Having expensive habits. I'm not going to spend a time going through it, but most of us, you're feeling down, you go shop. Retail therapy, spend $400, and then this is you at the end. Right here, so. So we right here, so after the credit card bill come and we can't pay it. half of the item you buy, half of it, you don't need it. Some of us buy shoes and then when we go home and looking at the closet, we have another pair just like it. How many shoes you can wear at a time? I'm not saying that you don't need to have nice things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't need to take care of yourself because I'm all about self-care and looking good. But it doesn't mean I'm spending an arm and a leg. I tell people all the while, I will never buy a name brand bag. I probably have one or two and they were gifts from people that come from foreign. But I never impress them, I impress me, but me glad for it. But I will never take up my money. A matter of fact, you know, if I'm buying a bag over 15,000, not even 10,000. Bag a bag. And after a while, I'm going to get tired. And I say, look, that's a long time I've been tired right now. Much as I take up 100,000 to buy a bag, to tell you, say, this is a Louis Vuitton and a Gucci. Why? So I'm making them rich. And money them are trying making a guide. So cut out the expensive hobbies. Cut it out. If that expensive hobby is not allowing you to make money, get rid of it. Right? When you put your money in saving, you're putting it to rest. When you put it in investment, you're putting it to work. So you have to focus more on investing your money, right? Whether it is physical real estate or if you're doing the investment route, then you find a scheme that works for you. And of course, paying too much in taxes. Perfect example is the income tax. Right? You're not doing a pension or you just do the basic 5%. When if you up your pension, you can pay less for income tax and reduce that. Failure to plan for retirement, right? This is one of a survey was done and it is women's biggest regret. Coming always a plan and I invest, you know. We wait till the last minute to start investing or to start a retirement plan, right? So we can't wait too long to invest, right? And of course, most important, not having a stockpile, meaning, do you have 3 to 6 months worth of income to sustain? So I had this conversation with a financial advisor the other day and I feel like I wanted to slap them. Because when I ask them, when you tell clients about having a stockpile, what do you mean? And they're telling me they must have their gross pay, 6 months gross pay. And I asked the question, do they use their 6 months gross pay for expense? Your stockpile is your expense, ladies and gentlemen. Based on your monthly expense, you must have at least 3 to 6 months money set aside. Because that's how long it will take you sometime to get back a job. COVID would have taught us a lot about having a stockpile. It's your safety net in the event that you lose your job, or for some individuals, they tend to merge their income with their spouses, which is a very, very good thing if you can trust your spouse, because you end up having more money to spend. But in the event that one of the spouse might lose their job, can you survive till they get back one? So again, this is the third thing that you need to look on, is having that money set aside in the event that something should happen. Can you comfortably pay your mortgage and your light and your water and stuff like that, without having to worry or having to borrow, right? No. Right. So we talk about the passive income, and we said that passive income is basically you having that additional source of money coming in. Mainly you want a passive income that might not take up a lot of effort, and normally it is something that you love, doesn't take a lot of effort or money making while you're sleeping. Rental property, you can't go wrong with real estate. Guys, trust me. property appreciate, and I'm a real estate baby. I first thing I will tell you to do. Try buy a piece of land, or I'm not going to tell them. I don't believe in apartments. That's the first thing, because I don't believe I can do much with an apartment. There's not much expansion I can do. There's nothing. I buy the apartment as it is, and based on what I'm paying for it, I might not be able to even rent it out. Or if I live in the apartment, I don't have much option of having a shared space to gain additional income. So I believe in a house per se. Houses can be expensive, but if you have a dream, if you have a vision, you can buy a fixer-upper and take your time and turn it how you want to. Another way to do it is, we don't have a lot of high interest bank accounts. Most of the banks will just give you a CD, but if you go the investment route, you'll be able to get instrument that will give you that. What you need to do is have a conversation with the advisor as to the type of instrument that you are looking for, so that they can find that for you and not just give you anything that is available. Affiliated marketing, you can also have unique advertising space. So there are persons who, even with property management, there are some persons who manage people, Airbnb and stuff like that for them. People who create the space to sell vehicles and other things for individuals. Be creative, think about it. There are a lot of places out there that don't have an avenue for it, so you can find one. That will make you some money. You just have to do your research. And of course, one of the more popular one is people selling products online, right? Again, even when you go on Amazon, if you research Amazon, people are making good money from Amazon without having an inventory to carry, or having a physical store space, because we kind of moving away from the brick and mortar style of business and maybe doing everything online. So it's just you figuring out, but there are various ways. Some of us have some talented skills. If you always a bacon car, come get the people in there and start selling product. Start bacon and start them up and put them in a bag or a container or whatever, and come and say, hey, I can't give you the cake anymore because I'm setting up my little hustle. So I'll have cake for sale. I can do your birthday, I can do your wedding. Invest in yourself so that you can set up your passive income. Right? So note, your 9 to 5 should fuel your side hustle. Your side hustle should fuel your real estate, and your real estate should replace your 9 to 5. That's what you're aiming for. Right? So, that's fine, leave it here. So what I see versus what most people see. You buy a house for 14 million. Down payment is $1 million. Your mortgage is 70,000. You rent it for 80,000. And your profit is 10,000 per month after you pay the mortgage. In my peanut brain, I don't believe in the 80,000. I believe in maximizing my income. So I go the Airbnb route, like just how Bridget is saying. And if the average I spend 70 US per night, that's 10,850 Jamaican, and I get an average booking of 21 days. My gross income for the month is 1,470 US, which is 227,850 per month. Utilities of 15,000, cleaning average to about 20,000. And remember that Airbnb charging the cleaning, so it's not really coming out of your money. Because you put your cleaning fee and you get it, but the average for somebody to come in and clean the place is about 20,000, meaning that in between the 21 days, you might have 3 guests, because the average I guest might come and stay is probably 5 or 6 days. My profit for the month after I pay my mortgage It's 192,850. Don't let people tell you that Airbnb don't work. Don't let people tell you that rental property don't work. If you put in the work, you will actually reap the reward. Outside of that, we're just talking about one apartment. If you have a house like this, you probably can get 3 or 4 apartments out of it. You can choose to use 2 of them as long-term tenants, just in case the season goes down and you're not getting as much booking. So, the 2 long-term tenants are there. And how do I select my tenants? Again, you have to be smart. You have your lease agreement. Do I want person to take in their furniture or not? If them take them furniture, where does the court stand if I need to get this person out? Guys, those are things to ask yourself. So when we tell us the wealth creation, it's not a 1, 2, 3. You don't just get up and think you get rich. You have to think about it. Personally, I don't believe you bring in your furniture. So I do rental property, but the only thing my tenants have are the close span back. Because the court now will tell me so they can't find nowhere. So they have to stay there for another 6 months. No, not happening. You have your clothes, somebody will put you up the catch. I don't want you to feel too comfortable in a mistake till they go face with me. So we need to understand that the bed you sleep on yours, coach will sleep on you. So just do what you need to do. So my lease agreement, I think, is probably about 6 pages. Very, very detailed. It is so detailed. My husband asked me, babes, I said, trust me. Because in my mind, and I always wanted to be a landlord. Just never understand certain things. So I thought I was poor. I thought I grew up poor until I married my husband and realized, but I was not poor. He was poor. My mother was an office attendant. Office attendant where buy people lunch, go to post office and all of that. But she had a vision that I've never seen anybody else have it. And that's where my role model came in. So when I look back on my childhood and I realized that I was good. I grew up in the country, I have TV and fridge. And I'm old, I'm 49. So we're not talking about the other day. But when I look back on it now, I realize that my mother decided at at my little tender age, that she not the office attendant for life, and she needs to teach her children that better life is there. Not a formal education, teenage mother. And I tell people that my mother is 65 and I don't have to give her $1. I don't. If my mother passed on tomorrow morning, there are 3 of us and we are well taken care of. Because I have watched her elevate herself. And people think that, oh, I don't make enough money. She wasn't making any money, but she looked at the opportunities that were out there. So she went to cosmetology school. So she started to do cosmetology. Back in the days, and then they do here like, no. Then she set up a store. And then she realized, the boy, that now work. And she needs to build her house. So the first thing that she owned a house when she was 23. So, my expectation of owning a house early was like, she keep telling me, I'm house when I'm 23 and you have education and good job, right? But her mindset was a little bit different from mine. So she went away for probably about 3 years, work, build up her house and come back. And she had shared spaces. So the person who should rent the place to just get a room and a bathroom and then share the kitchen with me. And we live in the other 2 houses. So right there, so me tell myself, say, me want to be a landlord. Because it did just look nice. But to the level where I've seen her elevate herself, and I tell people that at 60, my mother was able to buy a brand new car. I mean, I look on her like, what? You know how many young people are working a good job and can't do that? But she was able to do that. From meager income and making the sacrifice. And when I look at it, the sacrifice that she made, it makes it easier for me today to make sacrifice to accomplish certain goals. So when people tell me, I can't do it, I'm not making enough money, it's a joke. Because I tell people, if you look at where some domestic helpers live, if you see them house, you would be shocked. And these persons are domestic helpers. Because again, their mindset is different. I tell people that the more money we make, the more our expenses go up because we keep trying to live up to other people's expectation and not to ours. So, how do we budget? Because to accomplish the dreams of the passive income and to create wealth, we have to budget. One, we have to set realistic goals. So do not tell me that you want to buy a house next year and you don't have dollar in a bank. Unless you go to some illegal activity because you need 5%. So right now, if you need to buy a house in Jamaica, you need to make sure that you have at least $1.5 to $2 million. The lawyer fee, all of them things there, unless you're getting a house directly through NHG that they built. That's the only way your deposit or the money upfront is going to be less than what you have, that amount. Identify your income and your expenses and be very, very realistic, because when you look on your expense, you have to cut down. You have to go buy less food, buy less KFC, buy less Burger King. You might have to stop going to those high-end supermarkets and figure out one wholesale downtown. If you can't go downtown, ask somebody. I go to the market, but I can't go to the market alone. Because I will go to market and buy pure foolishness because I don't know ground provision like that. So I go with my nail tech. So every Saturday morning, she'll call me and by 6 o'clock we go. So if me I go buy the little melon and the melon just no, the melon is all right. We are going a little bit further. And she know the original farmers that sell the good product and the cheaper item. So you can't really find somebody else to do. Price Smart is there. You buy in bulk, if you're a bulk person and you have that passive income, you can buy in bulk. Because I do go to Price Smart, but I go to Price Smart twice per year. So I don't really go there to buy like food items, but I go there to buy like laundry stuff and stuff like that. And buy them in bulk. So I know that some of them they're going to buy them for the rest of the year. Right? I know some persons who team up with other persons and they go and they buy items and they split the items. You can do that. Whatever it is that is going to make your expenses come down. Right? Separate your needs from your wants. And you have to know the difference. Right? Because if you don't do that, you go and buy something that you think I want and they are need and vice versa. Design your budget. Put it into action. Look at your seasonal expense. Yes, Ms. Sharp.
Hi, Geraldine. You're on a roll, but we're coming up to lunchtime.
Yeah, man, and I'm coming down to cutting down.
All right.
All right, right? Look at your seasonal expenses and, of course, look ahead. So the budgeting rule is a 50-20-30, meaning that your savings should be 20, your needs should be 50%, and that would include your mortgages and stuff like that, and then your wants should be 30% of your income. So if that's not happening now, need to get yourself adjusted, right? Some of it might simply mean, especially because of mortgages, you might have to get that passive income in to get that additional income, right? So for debt, right? These are what it costs. They have to come out of debt. You end up spending more than you can afford. It's going to cost you money. You end up borrowing from your future income. You end up with high interest rate debt because you're paying more than what the item costs, for example, those higher purchases. It keeps you from accomplishing your financial goal. It can stop you from owning a home. It can lead to serious medical conditions such as stress. It can hurt your marriage because a lot of marriages don't talk about debt. And most importantly, that credit score, it is going to hurt it. So if your credit score is up between 600 to 700, then you find out that you're paying a higher interest rate and they do charge you based on that. So look at your income as a table, right? You need to set up multiple streams of income so that your life does not collapse. If one fails, only one leg will support the table. If that one leg breaks, the table will collapse. But if you have multiple legs, then it simply means that when one breaks, the table will wobble a little, but it will remain standing. And that's how you need to look at your income and the sources of income that you have. So, wrapping up. Do not be fooled by social media because a lot of us, young and old, are looking at social media, looking at our friends who are overseas and thinking that they are doing well. Trust me, it's a real. What I want you to understand, if one couple have 100,000, right? So you have two couples, each having 100,000. One invested and make $5,000. They know about 105,000, and the other take 95,000. Go on a vacation, and they post the pretty picture. Then they go on carnival, they go this, they go that. One couple is actually winning, and the other one looks like they are winning. Guys, social media is a highlight reel. In reality, most people are losing. Stay in your lane. Look at what you have. Look at your plan. Fix yourself. Figure out the first step in creating wealth is to look at your budget. Look at what you have coming in, what is going out. Once you get that, then what you now need to do is figure out, how do I generate a passive income? One of the philosophies that I have for myself, and I'm sharing it with you, is that the day should not end and you don't invest an hour in yourself. That hour might simply mean that you're getting an additional skill or you're using it to generate some level of income. So put that on your list of what you need to do, right? So things to consider when you're creating wealth, right? You have to basically change the narrative that you tell yourself. You can't tell yourself you're tired. You can't tell yourself that you can't breathe. You can't tell yourself that this is not for me. Whatever you tell yourself, that is what is going to come out, right? If you're going to make a purchase, sleep on it for 7 days. If after 7 days, you feel the same way, then go and buy it. If after 7 days, then you look on it and say, you know, I don't really need it, then that's not the item for you, right? Learn to build your passive income. Cannot rely on 9 to 5. Be attracted to great minds. I'm not in gossip. I don't entertain gossip. I don't entertain talking to people. I entertain money conversation. If our conversation is not about, oh, we can make some money, what I can do to make money, or I can create some level of wealth, then I really don't want to have a conversation with you, right? Live below your means. You're not have to go out every day. I walk with a lunch bag every single day, and I don't work in the office. I work out at companies. I walk with my water, my juice, my fruits, every single thing. I walk in because I don't think I need to spend money on the road. And then I go home every day and cook. So I cook breakfast and I cook dinner. People find it strange. I said, yes, no matter what time we go in, I'm going to cook unless my husband already do it. But I'm going home. If I even mackerel or rice, going home to cook. I'm very realistic. Right? It's best to purchase pre-owned vehicles than new vehicles. So it's better to go to the used car dealer because the brand new vehicle depreciates by 10% every single year, right? Because the price is coming down to catch up to the pre-owned vehicle. Some pre-owned vehicles don't have much mileage on it. You're getting 10 years to pay for it and you look at the 10 year and say, oh, wow. But you figure paying, oh, 95,000 or 120,000 every month for the next 10 years. And you work out how much money that is and how much that is going to dip into your long-term goal. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Don't buy into social media. Focus on solutions and not the problem. Don't save too much, especially if you're in your 20s and 30s. Invest. Buy your real estate. Create your asset from now. Upskill yourself. Learn new things that can help you to generate money and invest in yourself. So, what's the way forward, guys? Set goals. Budget and consolidate your debt. Build out your portfolio. And of course, try to achieve your financial wellness. So in closing, create wealth and building your legacy. So when you create wealth, it's a number of things: your earnings, your savings, your investment, discipline, patience. Some people make it at 60, some make it at 20, right? Just be patient and work at it, and make sure when you make a decision, it's an informed decision. So by adopting these financial practices and staying committed to your long-term goals, you can build wealth steadily over time and achieve your financial goal. Remember, it's not your salary that makes you rich, it's your spending habits. Right? Spend less, invest more. Any question? Yes? Question? No? No question?
Could you go back to the second to last page?
The last slide? Oh, second to last slide?
The summary sheet, I think.
Okay, yes. Who is saying making rich people? Oh, yeah. Yes, somebody saying making rich people richer. Yeah. See, guys, Bridget is a very resourceful person. You need to have Bridget in a chat list because she seems to be very informed about a lot of the things that she can actually help you to do. But guys, great mind things alike. Slater said, absolutely, thank you very much. It was indeed a pleasure, guys. I really hope that you would have learned something, and I'm telling you. Really, she said a lot of stones. No, I didn't throw any stone because honestly, these are things that I have practiced. I have been on a journey where I am telling you at one point in time when we started out, because we currently have, I can share, I love to share, not gonna like, but I love to share. We currently own 5 apartments. We're still doing some more. So we do both long-term and short and Airbnb. And I remember at one point in time when we just started out, my husband was working in the hotel industry. And to do what we do, because we did it out of pocket, my husband decided we are building out of pocket. We're not borrowing, we're not taking out a second mortgage, which is something I don't believe in, because the second mortgage is why a lot of people own the home. So at one point, I remember there were some points when my husband said, all right, he had to eat at work. So our budget for food was so small that we were only able to buy things for me to eat. So he ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner at work. And then I do business at his company. So when I go there on a Friday, he would always ensure that I eat, and we carry juice or sometimes some snack. I say, when I go home, I can eat that. But these were intentional things. And I tell people, it was not that we could not afford certain things. It was that we choose not to spend on certain things just to ensure that at the end of the day, we are okay. As I said, I have hit rock bottom twice. I've found myself real broke out of a job because of bad decision. The first time I started to build, I trust family. Never fully understand the process, so borrowed this whole heap of money, and my uncle just nemoted. And I could not I couldn't live in the house, I couldn't do anything. So again, I started over, but I don't look at doors that are closed, I look at what is open, and I believe that these were journeys that God was preparing me for a bigger thing to educate and teach people, because these are things that people don't talk about. And a lot of people will talk about wealth creation. When you ask them what they have, they don't. When you ask them, have you been on certain journey for you to tell me how to do it? They don't. They just come and they talk because they study the thing, and I do it from the bottom of my heart, from personal experience, because I really want people to get to that level. And as I said, wealth creation is different for everybody. For some people, it's about owning 3-4 houses. For others, it's just having financial security, not worrying about where the next meal is coming from and when they retire, what they're going to have, right? So, and as I said, Mr. Bridget, I put some things in here, guys. I don't know Bridget personally, but I'm telling you, I think Bridget is in Kingston, right? Bridget, guys, go to Bridget. Talk to Bridget, because I'm telling you that Bridget has some solid advice that can help you. I remember I told a student in marketing that I said, you can do marketing at any aspect. You can develop entrepreneurship. And she worked at the airport and she said, Miss, not always a big phone card. I wonder if we can sell them. So what she started to do, she hooked up her phone straight, and people wanted a call. So she said, give me $50, I send her $50 credit. And that's how she started to do her little business, right? Please go to the slide just before this one. All right, I thought it was this one. Yes, sir? This one? Oh, this one. Yes. Somebody wanted to see this slide, or you just want to take a picture? I started, see, no, Bridget, no, Bridget, no, Bridget. No question. All right, guys, thank you very much. I wish you would have participated more, but I realized that I don't do online for purpose, because persons don't talk and I can't point on persons for them to talk. But I do appreciate the persons who, Crystal wanted to be, but Bridget on her third life. But thank you for the persons who are sharing. Thank you for inviting me to come and share my experience with you on how I created wealth and how you can create wealth. The first thing you have to do is change your mindset. Because that was one of the things that I really had to do. And as I said, I've been through this journey. I've tried all of these things and they have worked. One of the greatest blessings, and I can't take that away from my spouse, is that I really have a supportive husband that we are on the same page. I think he mean, like, no, I really think your husband mean. But I'm grateful that he is mean. And if you have one of those partners that you can work with them. Sometimes it might not be a physical partner, but some of you have some great siblings that you can work with to build that level of wealth. Do that. That is what we have to do. That's what we have to do. Right? We have to find people who we can trust, because that's why the Chinese are take over, because they might come together. So we need to come together and build that level of wealth. All right. So thank you very much. I'm gonna make me sharp run you one more time. It has been an absolute pleasure to have shared this information, and I do hope that you can I'm gonna share my information. Hold on, take off that again. With you. Feel free to send me a WhatsApp, send me an email, and if there's any way that I can assist, I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you. So there's my information, my name, and my email address. You can send me a WhatsApp. Even if I don't respond to you the same day, I will definitely respond to you and we'll see. All right? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Geraldine. We have been blown away. And some person said you threw stones. Yes, you threw a lot of stones.
They say that, but it's not intentional. But if
Yes.
I'm showing stuff, you know you're doing something wrong.
So we really appreciate it. Just for colleagues gathered here, we are a little over time, so we'll quickly move through our giveaway section, and I'll ask Shanique Gray to just take over this section.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope the morning has been going well for everyone so far and that we have been engaged and with our lovely presentation that just took place. Awesome, awesome presentation. All right, for everyone, I have 2 questions just so that we can just quickly, as an effect, we're a little over time. All right, first question. Name 3 benefits of effective money management. You can just post your answers in the group, or if you want to just speak in the message, sorry, in the chat. Anyone?
Renee has her hand up. Renee Gordon.
Go ahead, Renee.
Okay, it helps you to stop worrying. It helps you to sleep better, and it helps you to achieve your goals.
All right, you were paying attention. Congratulations. Okay, all right, good. So we got the first response. All right, I'll move on to question number 2. What percentage of our salary did our presenter advise us to save monthly? That's an easy one.
Miss Gray.
Yes, go ahead.
10%, I heard 10%.
10%.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
who is that, just to make sure I get the name correct?
It's
Sorry, repeat that.
Sabraham.
Abraham from FST. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
you're quite correct. 10% is the response. So that was
One
quick and
question
easy.
though, Shanique.
Yes, sure.
It's for Geraldine. I'm sure I saw 20% at one point.
I
Geraldine?
have 10%. Geraldine, can you just confirm for us?
10%, 20% for pension.
Okay, all right. So thank you for that. So yes, so the 10% is the advised percentage that we should save from our salary each month. So thank you. All right, over to you, Azana. That completes the question and answer, and we will contact the relevant parties who answered correctly to have your tokens presented to you for collection.
All right, thank you very much. And we will not delay you any longer. So we will ask our admin officer for social sciences, Stephanie Pinnock, to move the vote of thanks and to wrap the session.
Good afternoon, colleagues. On behalf of the faculty administrative officers, I would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today for our virtual seminar celebrating Administrative Professionals Day. We would like to express our appreciation to Dr. Stanberry and Mr. Thompson, who was with us earlier, for their warm greetings, as well as Mrs. Geraldine Smith-Bailey for sharing her expertise and experience on personal wealth creation and prudent financial management. Not only was her presentation stimulating, but I'm sure I have no doubt at least that the practical tips that she shared will benefit us all on our financial journeys. A special thanks to you, our audience, for your active engagement throughout the seminar. And lastly, I would like to extend thank you to the entire organizing committee for planning and executing this seminar. Thank you once again, and I hope you'll continue to enjoy the rest of your day and the remainder of Administrative Professionals Week. Thank you.
Thank you. So we wish for everyone a pleasant good afternoon.